Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Current time is 5:46 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is 14 July 2021. And this particular podcast is called Complete Fiction. What I'm going to share with you is utterly made up. It did not happen. It does not exist. Or does it? Here's the story. I'm a kid growing up in the inner cities of the East Coast out of Pennsylvania, specifically Philly. When you're walking around, especially at night, I believe that certain people still have that fight or flight reflex wired into our brains from the times of the dinosaurs. See, back then, a twig snapping in the night could mean there was a predator about to have you for a midnight snack. And, well, you didn't want to do that. So, you blew out of there like at warp speed. Well, I had an encounter with a certain soul. To this day, I don't even know the man's name. But here's the odd thing. I would, walking up and down the streets, daylight, evening, etc. Although now that I think about it, I don't think I ever saw this guy at night. But anyway, you're constantly looking around. Your head's on a swivel. Your ears are like mobile radar dishes, sort of like a cat, but on a human skull. And this dude would just appear. I could have looked down the street behind me and turned again and looked 3 seconds later, and there he was. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman always wore a certain attire. Fedora hat, trench coat, dark slacks, white button-down shirt and a tie. And there's nothing in and of itself seemingly odd about that, but it's 90 degrees in Philly, and the percentage of humidity is at the equal mark of 90%. I don't know about you, but the mere thought of that makes me break a sweat. This guy never seemed to perspire. Really strange. It gets better, though. He would always ask me pretty much the same question, which was, you staying out of trouble? It's like, yeah. Good. Take care. And it's like I'd turn to walk away, or, we'd be going opposite directions or something like that. Usually he'd show up from behind me. But the weird thing about it is, I would turn maybe another 2-3 seconds later, he was gone. I mean, like there was nobody else on the street but me. And it's like, nah, nobody moves that fast. And I mean, this happened several times, grade school, I think a few times in high school. And I've always thought to myself, who is that dude? Well, there was one particular encounter we had. It's like, how you doing? Good. You staying out of trouble? Yeah. Okay. And I, thought I'd be a little bold. I think this was like ninth grade or something like that. I said, so what do you do for a living? He gave me a very terse one-word response. Work. Flat in the effective delivery. No poker face sign of any sort of emotion. Oh, the kid's interested in what I do. Nothing. Just work. And I decided right there it would probably be in my best interest to not press the matter. And once again, just as this person has in all the other previous encounters, I'd turn around 2 or 3 seconds later and the street was empty. I was alone. It's like, this is just too flippin' weird. Now, some years later, I was meditating. I had, by that time, made it to Davis, California, and I actually had built a pyramid. Now, that part of the story is true. And I'm sitting in this pyramid, and I'm meditating, and I can see this guy's face in my mind's eye. It's like, oh, I haven't thought about him in several years. Here's where it gets weird. The guy's face morphed from human to reptilian. He smiled. That's a chilling sight. And then morphed back to human. It's like, okay, question one. Did someone slip me a Mickey, or have I inadvertently ingested any hallucinogens? The answer to that question is a resounding no. So what do I make of this? I have no idea. But I figured I was done meditating for that moment, and we just called it a day. So it's not that you, the listener, per se need to contact me and answer this. I just want you to think about it in terms of, is it just me, or has anyone else ever had any such type of encounter? Um, Maybe in the future, after I plug a few of these stories in here, we can start a dialogue, maybe take a peek at the notion of, is it true? Did this actually happen to me? Or is it fiction? But bear in mind, this podcast is called Complete Fiction. So you decide. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Thank you for listening. It's the time for me to tell you my website and my name. The name is Scot Albert Consultant. I can be found by looking up that phrase on the internet. You can also look me up by typing in www.xnxray, P as in Paul, R as in Ralph, the number 3.com, or better yet, http://www.xpr3.com. This has been Scot Albert Consultant presenting you with A Complete Fiction. Take care now. Namaste.